so he's still got a lot to prove. But now that the drafting phase is officially commencing, we are going to be preparing to enter game number 3.
Once again, Team LUNATIX going to be on the blue side with Red Esports on the red side. Same bans all across the board. Valentina Fanny for Red Esports, Masha as well as Wanwan for Team LUNATIX. Do we see the Akai band, however?
Well, it worked out for them in game number 2, so if it's not broken, don't fix it. Team LUNATIX going to be sticking to that. Red Esports, they banned out the Fairness in this situation last game. Will they continue on with that?
Oh, Respect, I respect that. They banned out the Ling this time, and you can see that on Team LUNATIC's face, they're like, yeah, they're scared, they're nervous because they let go of Faramis.
What is interesting is the fact that despite this hero having 6 picks and 22 bans, he only has a 17% win rate. That's kind of abysmal considering how meta the hero seems to be right now.
Well, let's not also talk about like its death per kill rate. I wish we had a stat for that because Faramis dies a lot, like so many times. But the thing is, with Faramis, this is a big enabler for dive comps, for big daddy comps that want to run you down and not be scared. Similar to Diggy, but brings a lot more utility in terms of just having big beefy tanks that can sustain. Red Esports, they respond with Beatrix. We're not seeing Carry this time, and as well as Ashe on his signature Lilia.
Looks like Red Esports are in serious mode now. Gonna be finally going for the Beatrix instead of the Carry, but instantly the double signature pick response. Khalid currently 100% win rate on Goldilocks and Mint. We're gonna be seeing that Brody once again.
I'm surprised that Team LUNATIX didn't look to pick up a jungler just yet, but Red Esports going to be denying an enabler, making sure that Yumichi isn't going to start causing havoc in that backline and looking for those big picks, especially since Ashe is playing Lilia. You can die before you can hit that black shoes.
Indeed, that's something they gotta watch out for. Red Esports now actually gonna be banning out the Sicilian for themselves, and I am kind of curious about this Cho pickup. In terms of the player hero pool on Red, it does feel like this is going to be Ren QT's hero because I don't think we've gotten to see Muriel playing on the Cho yet. And if this does go into the EXP lane, it's going to have kind of a hard time against the Khalid.
Yeah, a little bit of a hard time. I'm thinking of matchups against Khalid that's actually favorable for Ren. Uranus out of the picture. Esmeralda out of the picture too. Generally, it's a high damage. I mean, I would have expected Ren QT to do pretty well on the Youth Song, but it looks like Goldilocks really understands his position, the position and how to trade from early as well as mid game.
I think the Bandidetta is a good shout. That is a hero that would have a pretty okay time against the Khalid. So Team LUNATIX, again, focusing on that EXP lane. They want to make sure that Goldilocks can extend his lead in the lane to map pressure as Red Esports continues focusing down on possible Rain hero picks, banning out the Eve here. So it looks like they're anticipating that this is going to be Yamichi's Faramis instead.
I think it's most likely going to be Yamichi here. I feel like for the LUNATIX, going for the Kadita again doesn't seem too bad. However, Red Esports, I do think the Cho can be flexed. Ren QT has played Cho before, and I don't think that's too bad of a matchup against the Khalid, which does suggest that maybe Team LUNATIX might want to ban out, either the Diggy or the Franco here.
I actually still think this is going to be Rain's Faramis here. I think we could see a Yamichi Kufra.
Oh, Yamichi Kufra. Let's see what Red Esports' first pick is. I'm like 50-50 on Kufra right now. Ooh, you know what?
I'm like more.
I'm like 75%. I'm like 75% of the way now. Brikito, not bad. However, Team LUNATIX can look to counter it.
Yep, if they go for the Kufra here, I think it would work really well. It obviously means a little less damage in the late game since Faramis, his scaling is going to be a little less than other mages, but not by much. I think it's still a pretty balanced comp, and they are still looking for a jungler for Amal as well. I'm wondering what they might go for. We are seeing that Yisa Jin there.
That's the thing, he's hovering over it. He did that the last time but changed at the last second, so that I'm not 100% sure. Could be hovering over fighters. I'm not 100% sure where it's going to go, but I'm seeing the Kufra already getting locked in. Yes! Lancelot! Finally! Finally, I get to cast a game with Lancelot in it. He already has 100% win rate, 2 picks, 3 bans.
I think that means that Team LUNATIX actually has 3 heroes with 100% win rates on their lineup right now. A lot of pressure on them to see if they can keep these percentages maxed out. Red Esports now going to be looking for their final pickup, and we can also confirm whether or not this is an EXP show or a roam show, because we actually are not certain of that yet.
I think taking the Thamus here wouldn't be too bad for Red Esports, honestly, because if you get Cho in that side lane, you're not going to have as much impact, but instead, they are going to go for the Atlas. So, if you want to dive us, we have tools to try and stop you and maybe turn this fight around, because we know how Atlas really is a table flipper for team fights.
This is going to come down very heavily to how each team wants to take the fight and how they approach it, because there's a lot of team fight capability on both of these lineups. The Cult Altar comboed with the Kufra is going to be really strong, especially with the Khalid jumping in as well. But if they set themselves up for the Fatal Links, that's a very easy kill score for the AoE damage coming out of Beatrix, the AoE coming out of Lilia. So Team LUNATIX need to not fall into that sort of trap as we now prepare to enter the final game of the series. Recapping the lineups once again, Team LUNATIX still going for that dive composition, but if we're talking about late game, it is all Red Esports, ladies and gentlemen. Will the Fatal Links be the final nail in the coffin for Team LUNATIX, or will the brand new upstarts show us an upset here against a veteran MPL team?
Welcome back to the Land of Dawn for game number 3. Comes back to life and the beer passion is done.
Well, if you set up for a good 4-man knockout strike, that's pretty good as well.
That's money. That is money. All right, let's see how this game goes, because immediately you are seeing Yamichi looking to punish this early. Miles getting very early trades. He's not even in lane, and Yamichi probably going to be forced to recall very soon, as Goldilocks and Ren QT, they are not backing down from this street brawl. Ash, however, cannot afford to die.
I do like the slight sort of change from Red Esports there, rotating Mal over to dual damage to the Kufra, but Yamichi already forcing Zayed to use his retribution on a regular jungle camp. Not gonna have that up for the purple buff, which means Goldilocks can threaten it and just chase the Paquito away.
Yes, this is what we want to see. Zayed uses retribution so early, and now they're looking for this punish. Emal is going to get it. Ash, and as well as Hakimi are looking to try and take out Yamichi, who turns a different direction, but Goldilocks finds first blood, goes for a second. Emal unable to finish it off, but now Mural is all by himself. They were able to get the trade back on Yamichi, but losing out on Ren QT, on the EXP lane is going to put Goldilocks in an amazingly good position.
Yeah, that's a massive trade for Team LUNATIX. Ordinarily, trading the EXP lane for the tank isn't actually that big of a difference, but when you are in a situation where you have to go even against something like a Khalid, a little bit of EXP difference is going to make a lot of difference for Ren QT. Luckily, the lane did kind of build up there, so he still has both of the EXP cannon minions.
Yeah, that's a little sad, I'm not going to lie, but as you were mentioning earlier, the slight EXP leads, most people are going to think, oh yeah, but then there's not going to be much of a difference in the stats. However, it does make a difference in terms of who gets the next level first. Now, Yamichi is going to get attacked here as the retaliation from Red Esports is successful, giving Zayed the kill he needs to get back into this game. Yamichi pays the price as Red Esports will dive the top side, mid actually flicking away, and it's going to be a perfect combo. Torn apart memories with the help of the Ghostbuster from Firemis to secure the kill on Mural.
That was beautifully timed by Mint, flickering behind Zayed the moment he used jab. That is a timing you usually will not be able to catch out on. They secured a kill onto Mural, and not only that, because most of Red Esports was up in the top lane, Amal got the turtle for free.
Yep. Now, Team LUNATIX looking to punish one more time here, and I think Mural has been given the signal. He is waiting patiently, knowing that Team LUNATIX are looking to make something happen on top side. However, TL, I think they're very aware and understand the behaviors now. They can kind of read this.
And Ash, I think he's aware of where they might be in the bush as well. Miro now jumping in, but the perfect match is gone. Yamichi still has to be careful about engaging though. Fatal Links is still available. They're trying to use the Lancelot as bait to force the Beatrix and Atlas to come closer, but they are giving up a lot of priority in the bottom side as well.
Exactly. This is taking way too long, and Red Esports knows for a fact of how many people are up top side if your EXP laner rotates to mid. So this is, again, it's all about patience, but Team LUNATIX looking for the engagement. Miro with the perfect match, looking for an opportunity. He still has that Fatal Links, though. He could look to turn this around. He finds two. Temp HP comes up with the Cult Altar, played perfectly coming in from Rain as he tries to back away. Zayed is going to put a lot of trouble as they already lost Lancelot. Now Mint on the run, tries to get away, but Zayed refuses to let him run any further. That is going to be the turnaround for Red Esports.
A disaster for Team LUNATIX means a great boon for Red. They took that fight perfectly. This is what we talked about. The way you engage and initiate these fights determines everything in this sort of lineup, and that means a lot of farm going over to Maul on this Beatrix.
Yeah, well, in the meantime, Goldilocks is going to be stealing away camps, and he is going to use his Raging Sandstorm to get on out of there. He is not letting this get to him for now. He's playing very individualistically, but that's what you want to do as Kalik. You will look for any advantage to get ahead, to give yourself that bit of edge for the upcoming fight. But RenQT makes the play onto Yamichi, getting a great kick. Yamichi forced the flicker out, losing out on an important battle spell.
I like this increased tempo from Red Esports. They are threatening Team LUNATIX on every front because they know that they now have the gold advantage, no matter how slight it may be. And if they can continue this sort of pressure, it's going to be very difficult for Team LUNATIX to make up for that difference in momentum.
But TL are already on the turtle. Red Esports could look to contest here. Unfortunately, doesn't fall into the hands of Zayed, who ends up dying. The Cult Altar to protect the rest of the team. They back off, and Red Esports, unfortunately, bite on the bait.
But in the top lane, there's an engagement onto Mint. He's nearly taking out Meryl, but it's not quite enough. I saw from what happened on the mini-map, he did try to flicker out of the Fatal Links, but you don't flicker out of Fatal Links. And now LUNATIX trying to make an attempt on bottom side. We can see a Raging Sandstorm landing on top of Ash, forcing out the Black Shoes, but now Goldilocks is taking a lot of damage from the Lilia, forced to use the Quicksand Guard. Amal now jumping in. He knows that Ash doesn't have his revive, but Zayed is right there. The 1-2 combo executes the Lancelot. A nice Tyrant's Rage from Yamichi, but it's not enough. It's going to be right after Goldilocks falls to Red. And now here comes Miro tanking the tower. Triple kill going to Zayed.
That's what you want to see from Red Esports. Now they are changing the game plan. They're not dedicating all their resources to the gold lane. They are allowing Zayed to play his game.
This is pretty bad for Team LUNATIX now. 6 minutes in, a 2.5k lead for Red Esports, and we already mentioned that LUNATIX with their lineup needs to secure that early game lead. They don't scale nearly as well as Red. And that means that something needs to happen pretty soon, or Red are going to walk away with this game.
Oh, Ghostbuster's is going to be pulling back here with the Shadow Stampede, but Zayed, he's trying to get away. Unfortunately, it's going to be Miro pulling back into Nibiru's passion. Goldilocks, unfortunately, Sandstorm Guard is all his Quicksand Guard is only going to hold for so long as Mal picks up a triple. Red Esports changing up the play style, going back and forth.
That's the combo we were talking about. Fatal Links into Nibiru's passion, not even giving them a chance to pop that Cult Altar. Red Esports has instantly turned their lead into full map control. Nearly 4k net worth lead for Red. Turtle coming up. LUNATIX in no position to contest.
This is what I wanted to see from Red Esports for a long time. They cannot just keep playing for Mal. They need to be able to utilize their time better, and this is the results of it. They're looking for good fights, but now RenQT able to dodge the initial engagement with his Shunpo, and now he's looking for an opportunity to get on top of Mint. He's zoning him up, but here comes Miro with the Fatal Links. Cult Altar already popped into the combo. The Cult Altar valuably used, but the third hit of G Kundo is gonna stop any kind of retreat. Zayed pushing the mid lane as RenQT kicks Mint. He's trapped. He gets pulled back. It's too late for him, but the rest of Red now in some trouble as Goldilocks is able to get some good damage, but Miro gets away. Here comes Emal. He wants to get a kill, but unfortunately it's too late. Dodge precious. The last shot coming in from Mal.
My goodness, that was tense from both these teams. A nice engagement with the Fatal Links, but this is the power of the Cult Altar. Because the Nibiru's Passion was used to take out the temporary HP, it wasn't enough to kill them. And that last kick from RenQT, that was just an unfortunate mechanical misplay. You could see that he tried to flicker to kick him in the other direction, but it didn't quite work out for him.
Yeah, I mean, he tried, but let's not forget that Mint, he's got some fast fingers too. Mint was able to kind of flicker into his own position, and that kind of made the angle really, really awkward. RenQT should have been careful, and I think he was spamming the Way of the Dragon pretty hard there. Let's have a look at the items, though.
We can see that right now, Red Esports in a pretty comfortable spot. Mal already having his VOD and Malefic Roar 6-0 on the Beatrix. So he is pretty farmed in comparison. You can see that Mint only having just picked up his VOD, being forced to build slightly more defensive items to ensure he can survive.
All right. I would say right now Red Esports isn't in a position where everybody has hit their power spike just yet. And I think even for Team LUNATIX, they understand that, yeah, we're going to have to give away a couple of these turrets. There's no real point in contesting them until we get them where we want them, which is going to be this upcoming Lord fight. But now, Red Esports looking to make the play here. Mural, unfortunately, doesn't find anybody. Yamichi finds it, though. However, he gets pulled back by the Fatal Links. The temp HP from the Cult Altar. It's going to be enough as the Raging Sandstorm cancels on Nibiru's Passion, and they turn this around. Emal dashing with the Thorn Rose already finds 2, but they need to get 1 more to even up the odds. They don't find it yet.
That was crazy right there. I don't even know how to describe what happened, but you could see that there was an attempt on to Mal there, and the Tyrant's Rage actually nearly caught out the Beatrix, but the Fatal Links from Mural was perfectly timed to disrupt the Kufra, keeping not only the Beatrix alive, but the Nibiru's Passion up to instantly clear up the temporary HP on all 5 members of Team LUNATIX. It does look like we're going to be getting an instant replay of that as well.
Yeah, let's see one more time, because again, when we saw it happened, it was just too late. And even when the second cast after the initial, Lemichi still has his ult. He was not able to get his ult off. That would have been a huge game changer for Team LUNATIX. But now it's all up to Red to take control over this Lord Pit.
That trade, however, did reduce their net worth lead to only 1.5k, so they're still able to make engagements. You can see they're now going on top of Mint. Fatal Links finds the Brody, but Yamichi is stopping Zayed from engaging, meaning that Atlas is out of position. Cult Altar is out. Mural is down. Tyrant's range onto Zayed means that his is going to go down. Shut down onto Ash. Double kill going over to Mint. They're jumping in on RenQT. Way of the Dragon. Will it keep him alive? Ooh. No! He dies to the passive damage. Double kill picked up by Emal.
Nicely done. Emal, he did use his retribution to finish off RenQT, who had barely any HP left. A very good play coming in from Team LUNATIX, and an unfortunate mishap for Red Esports. This Lord falls into the hands of TL.
That's a bit uncharacteristic of Red Esports there. Just a mistake. Mural wanted to catch out Mint, but Yamichi, knowing he can't stop the Fatal Link, stops the follow-up damage instead. And once they know that a bunch of cooldowns have been used, instantly re-engaged with the Cult Altar. No setup for the Nibiru's Passion this time. The net worth lead is now in LUNATIX's favor.
Yep, fleeting time already purchased here by Rain. The kick comes onto Yamichi, who flickers on out of there. A good initial punish, but I don't know, it doesn't feel too worth it to me. They're going to still lose this Tier 2. Red Esports unfortunately don't want to risk it for the biscuit, as the Lord Empowered minions are slowly creeping in.
What a turnaround this has suddenly been, but we can't stop holding our breath just yet. Red Esports still can come back from this. 2k lead for LUNATIX. They now want to take this next tower. They will take the Tier 2 mid. Lord should guarantee the Tier 2 top as well. Will LUNATIX be able to pick up inhibitors?
Well, let's find out. They did it the last time. Maybe they can do it again. They use the concealed They're trying to go. Bennett's Rage is already out. They find the initial hit, but the called Altar is going to go for the protection. Unfortunately, it's going to be Mal who is able to get the kills. Flickers away, saves his life. Unfortunately for Emal, doesn't find the execution, but this does mean that they get 2 inhibitors for a trade. Do they want to go in some more? Emal, he's playing it very carefully. He has nothing to dash to just yet. And Red Esports, the punishment has been laid upon them.
LUNATIX might actually want to go for one more here. They're shoving out another wave, but okay, that's smart. They don't want to go for that again, but that was a beautiful engagement. Yamiti jumping in, finding a 2-man Tyrant's Rage. Unfortunately, the tower is not fat enough, so they didn't get stunned, but the shift in position was enough to catch Red Esports out of guard.
Yep, it's taking the opportunities. The mini stuns just stopping them in their tracks. I mean, that's why Grok's knockup with the Wild Charge is so good, even though you don't necessarily get the mega stun when you collide with a wall. But looking at the items so far, you can definitely tell the differences here as Team LUNATIX now on their 4th item compared to Red Esports, who are still stuck on their 3rd. They have enough components. Some of them have their 4th item, but not everybody.
We can see that Maul and Ash are still at the top of the damage dealt rankings as well, but Goldie Luck is actually the one doing the most DPS on Team LUNATIX. Again, the Khalid on this player needs to be respected, and that is 36,000 tower damage with the first Lord push of the game. That's gotta be a new record.
Yeah, with the 4K goal earned in that time. Nicely done by Team LUNATIX here. Red Esports getting close to their next item power spike with 13 seconds left on the clock before the next Luminous Lord is going to spawn.
This is going to be an important one here. If LUNATIX claims this Lord, they can probably end the game right there. So Red cannot give this over to them. We can see it from their positioning. They're making an attempt over from the river side. Not aware. Yamichi's behind them. He fights Maul. He fights 2 with Tyrant's Rage. Calls Altar. Going to be popped. A kill on the Maul instantly. Miral follows very quickly. The stun from Ren QT will be able to keep alive with the flicker, but not enough. Mega kill going to Amal.
Huge play coming in from Yamichi. A well-timed flank, and Red Esports didn't check their homework. Ash uses the Black Shoes, falls back into TL, and they get sucked in by the Shadow Stampede. TL looking to end this game as they take out Zion. It's a 2-1 victory. GG, well played.